Clinton, see, the way this started, this back and forth bullshit about unprepared or not qualified or compromised or what have you, Clinton started by calling Sanders unprepared to be president. Well, what does that mean? What is unprepared? This guy has been a mayor, a representative, a senator. What has Hillary Clinton been? She's been a senator and working in the State Department. That has absolutely goddamn nothing to do with politics. I mean, domestic politics has everything to do with bullshit U.S. imperialism. So here's Sanders being called unprepared. And then Sanders responded and he thought she was unqualified. And I don't know. It's just, what have I got here? This is from Huffington Post. Listen to this. When that happened, the chattering classes went off. Democrats were rending garments and wringing hands, worried about the campaign getting too negative and personal. Guy Cecil, director of one of the Clinton armory of SuperPacs, played the inevitable sexist card. President Obama felt it necessary to weigh in with his spokesman, Eric Schultz, saying Obama believes Clinton, quote, comes to the race with more experience than any non-vice president in recent campaign history, end quote. Nobody is arguing her experience. We're arguing her judgment. Sanders is. I mean, this is a woman who had all the information that Sanders had, and probably more, about Iraq and Saddam Hussein, and still chose to vote for another invasion, another act of U.S. imperialism, while Sanders, who had the same information, said, no, fuck no, this is crazy.
Yeah, and I would say it's not even, for me, as much questioning her judgment, which I do, but it's questioning her ethics and her character.
Well, that too.
I mean, that's the little bugbear that gets me. I know you don't get into politics because it has such a reputation for high ethical standards, but she seems shifty. I mean, the two times we met her, I looked at you after that time that we were up there for that talk radio thing back when my gosh,
that was before Air America.
Before Air America, back when what's her name, who was the female politician that was Ed Schultz, was it Democracy Radio or something? Do you remember that? And it was her husband who was putting it together.
The representative, wait a minute, let me answer. The representative, or I don't think she was a senator, from Michigan.
Yeah.
Whose
husband
was going to fund,
and he did.
Yeah,
this talk radio scenario, and Ed Schultz was their big property that they were launching,
right.
And it was before Air America, slightly, almost at the same time. But there was a big kerfuffle about whether they were taking money away from Air America, which was going to be a bigger deal and employ more, whatever. Democrat. Whatever, and someone will email us and tell us what it was that will have.
Seems so long ago, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, well it's been 15, 14 years, something like that. But anyway, we met in a little group, wasn't a big room.
I remember,
with Hillary and maybe 25 other, And she was up there giving her little speech, and she got off the stage, and it was like she turned to acid, like butter.
Well, when she came down to mingle, I mean, anybody can say anything they want to on the stage, but when you get into a little group, and there weren't that many of us, and the people who own Nova M Network.
Jellianini and the Drobny.
Yeah, the Drobnys. They were the ones that took us to that private meeting.
Right.
And they knew Hillary because they had been massive campaign contributors to the Democratic Party in Illinois.
And they were big Gore supporters.
Right,
too.
They were Al Gore supporters. Yeah. And I can remember Anita Drobny looking at us at one point and just shaking her head like, what kind of bullshit is this from
And
this
she was
woman?
sitting next to her talking to her, and
Right.
you could tell Hillary was just almost sneering at her.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awful. And then we have the friend here in Atlanta whose daughter worked for her at the State Department, and it was the same thing. It was like Ice Queen. She's not a nice person. Now, that doesn't mean she'd be a crappy president.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't think she's an ethical person.
Well, she's not ethical. You're absolutely right. But the thing is, she is a warmonger. She is part of the neocon establishment in this country. whose central theme is, if it doesn't bend to the will of America, bomb the goddamn thing. Send missiles on it. Send in an invading force. We came, we saw, he died. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that from a foreign minister, Secretary of State? We came, we saw, he died. What is that shit?